Little update on the pears. As long-term viewers will recall, some 3 years ago we had a load of Bramley apples here and some sunset in this area, which is about 25 yards by 100 yards. And they were fruiting not terribly well. We couldn't really market them, and we had a market for pears. We never originally intended to grow pears because I thought they were going to be so difficult to grow. But we have a few, I'll show you in a moment, we have a few pears grown as espaliers for our own use, and one particular market that was coming up, we had about 15 pounds or so, 15 kilos, I can't remember, pears, and we thought, well, you know, these are going to pass it before we can eat them all, so why don't we just take them and offer them to sell? Well, they flew off the shelves and people keep saying, oh, we've got any more pears, got any more pears? So I thought, well, look, we've got these unproductive, or these unprofitable Bramleys here. You know, they're not, I mean, you know, the Bramley is a heritage apple, but it's a very, very common apple. We're really interested in growing things which are rare and important. So we hauled the Bramleys out. It was a huge amount of effort. I got some of my friends in for Wickham Morris every year. They collect for a charity, and I said, well, look, come and do a day's work for me, and I'll give a donation to the charity that we're collecting for this year, which I did. And anyways, we pulled all of those out, and we planted these pears, and that was 3 years ago. These pears are in their 3rd year. This is just a little look. In particular, just really want to encourage folks who might think, oh, you know, I'm too old now, I can't be bothered. Oh, it's a bit of some sort of black spot. I forget, these are attacked by some various number of insects and pests and diseases. We do use a minimal spray program, which more or less controls a lot of the pest. But anyway, so I just want to encourage people who think, well, you know, it's going to take me ever such a long time before I get a crop coming through. Well, these were 2-year-old trees. They were pretty small when they were planted, and you know, this is the 3rd year since they were planted. You see, that's the growth that's been made this year. That's last year's growth, and that's actually got a pear on the end of last year's growth, plus a load of fruit bud. And here's the older wood, which is carrying fruit. These pears, by the way, the varieties are Comis, Concord, Comis, Concord, Conference, and Burr Hardy. This is really just to give you an idea of the kind of pear crop you can expect on decent soil 3 years after planting. This one, I need a stake. We bought the stakes and we staked some of them up, and we got distracted because we had another job that needed doing, and then another whole load of stuff that needed doing, and then we had the drought and we couldn't hammer the stakes into the ground. So the whole business of a pyramid pear, growing as a pyramid, the idea is that you hardly prune it at all. You hardly prune it at all. You just let the fruit buds accumulate, and you support the thing uprightly because it will crop earlier. You see why this should have been. You see why pyramids really do need to be staked. Here's another example. You see, the weight of the crop is pulling the tree over. Make no mistake, these needed to have been staked, and it was neglect and too much else to do. You see, this is staked, and this is what it should look like. This, I think, is Burr Hardy. I'd recommend Burr Hardy. Excellent flavour. Doesn't keep very long, but it's an excellent flavour. The brown rot. It's always worth removing, getting rid of any brown rot. So yeah, I tell it like it is. That's just to demonstrate how necessary it is to actually stake trees and support them if you're growing them on a pyramid, a more modern system. Here are our original espalier pears. That was think that one is Winter Nellis. This is Santa Claus. Yeah, fully supported espalier system. This is, I forget which one this is. I think this is Josephine de Malines, carrying quite a light crop this year. Here's Burr Hardy, carrying a good crop, not an absolutely massive, but a very good crop. I think we're going to get some marvellous fruit this year. I mean, we deserve it after last year, which was a disaster in many ways because of the weather we had last year. Last year we had no rain before midsummer and no sun after midsummer. We had a very severe red spider mite attack. Anyway, we're in control of that this year. Here's Julia picking the plums. So actually, tell us about the plums, Julia.
These are opal.
Yeah.
They are an early plum. They usually come a month before Victoria.
Yeah. A month, is it more like 3 weeks, I've been telling people.
Variable.
But yes, opal is ripe well before Victoria.
I'd normally be picking these at the end of July. And it's what, the 9th of July today.
Everything's a bit ahead.
So they are about 3 weeks earlier than they would normally be. It's a bit of a shocker.
Goodness, they've ripened a lot in the last...
They've ripened over this
you really judged this right, didn't you? Because you went ahead and booked some extra markets.
They're bigger than we've had before. These
Folks, these are the plums we were thinning so aggressively quite recently. These are the plums we were cutting out very large numbers of plums, cutting out whole bunches, cutting out 4 plums out of every 5, and this is now what we have. By the way, that's opal. Okay, so look at the ripeness there, and this is the Victoria. Okay, this is a point worth making. These are Victoria plums. These are the best known and the most widely grown plums. They're a very good plum. Look at these, they're green and they're hard. Here we are, Victoria plum again. They're green and they're hard. If you bit into one, you'd spit it out, crunchy and sour. Here is the opal. Okay, now that is a point worth making. That's a point I make repeatedly, that you are well advised when you're planning your orchard to plant fruits which will ripen at different times so that you can avoid having too many come at once. I'm just going to crunch into this.
are not quite sweet enough to eat.
A little bit sour.
In order to take them to market for them to travel, we need to pick them a bit firm, and then people will ripen that in the fruit bowl in about 3 or 4 days. That would be lovely and sweet. Obviously we have the privilege of being able to saunter out here and eat one straight off the tree, really fully ripened.
It's a bit sharp.
They can't travel like that.
It's got sugar in it.
And
a little bit sour.
Developing, hasn't it?
So basically we'll be picking these.
I've already taken one picking of these about 4 or 5 days ago. I took off the very ripe.
So look out for and remove any that are going rotten. Yeah. Anyway, so...
and the ones that are left on will then go on and ripen. It's almost like a late fruit thinning for them.
Yeah.
They'll benefit from
And what percentage of these plums, going back to the thinning again, what percentage of these plums do you think we removed?
About 4/5.
About 4/5, that's what I think. I think we removed, 4 plums out of every 5. It was hard work, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
we had to do it repeatedly because the first time we didn't do it hard enough and we did lose a couple of branches. We've got a couple of branches broken through the winter season.
yeah. Was there a branch broken here?
Yeah, if you come around this side, there was a low branch hanging right down, full of fruit, and it had snapped off. I suspect that the fox had been pulling it down to get the ripe fruit off it. Because it was quite a low branch anyway. I don't think the wind would have made that happen.
So a whole big branch.
And it was so heavy, I had difficulty moving it away to the bonfire area because it was just so heavy.
And that was after all the... so aggressively as we thinned this, we didn't quite do it enough and we've lost a big branch.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, this video is probably getting a bit too long now anyway, so I'll stop there. But yeah, just doing it, my token effort isn't enough, you've got to do a lot. If we'd have more time, if we didn't have so many other things to do...
Round here.
Yeah.
Because there's something interesting.
If we didn't have so many other things to do, we could have maybe cut some hazel sticks and supported them.
Can you see the little funguses coming?
Oh, yeah.
So this tree is infected, and that may be why the fruits on this tree started ripening even earlier than the others.
Yeah. We've had bad luck with plums here, haven't we? They sort of grow very well, but then they die as a result of various fungal diseases that we don't seem to be able to control. But they're such a rewarding crop. Anyway, goodbye from this sunlit orchard in July, and tomorrow is 10th of July, first farmers market of the year.